Your Honor, seems to be working on this end.
Good morning. Can you please tell me your full name and date of birth?
Grace Leilani Lopez, date of birth 99.
Good morning, Ms. Lopez. Being seen here today based on a warrant that was issued for you, or I guess you're being held on a warrant that was issued for you out of Maricopa County related to several charges of fraud, conspiracy, money laundering, illegally conducting an enterprise, and assisting the criminal street gang. It looks like Maricopa County hasn't yet transported you. The bond is going to remain in effect for you. And I'm going to set another review hearing for you on July 28th at 9 a.m. Hopefully they'll come and transport you before then, but just in case, we'll have another review hearing just so we're not leaving too much time. Check one more thing. That's all I have for you. Thank you. You're excused.
Thank you. I'll see.
Good morning. Can you please tell me your full name and date of birth?
Manning A. Rojas III, date of birth 1/11/1983.
Okay. Mr. Rojas, good morning. You're being seen here today on a warrant that was issued for your arrest by Judge Charlene Pesquera at the Pima County Justice Court on May 23rd of this year. These relate to a charge of theft that was alleged to have occurred on May 11th. I remind you of the right to remain silent, and anything you say can be held against you. On this matter, I'm going to set an arraignment date for you next week. I'm sorry, in 2 weeks on July 7th at 8:30 in the morning. Now, if I release you, will you promise to appear at that hearing?
Yes, sir.
Then I'll release you. I'm going to order that you not have any contact with any alleged victim in the case, and that you not go back to wherever this alleged theft occurred. You're going to be seeing Judge Robert Foreman again on July 7th at 8:30 in the morning, okay?
Okay.
That's all I have for you, sir. You're excused. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Being released right now.
Yes.
Thank you.
Good morning. Can you please tell me your full name and date of birth?
Alexis Martal, 7391.
I'm sorry. Apologies. We have the Spanish interpreter on the line.
It's okay, I understand English.
Well, all the same, sir, we actually need the interpreter for a few other matters today. Again, do we have the interpreter on the line? All right. Seems we're having a little bit of trouble with locating the Spanish interpreter. Sir, I'm going to ask you to kind of stand by. We'll pick up your case in a minute. I understand that you can understand English, but I need to make sure that we actually have the interpreter for the rest of the cases today. So if you would mind just holding on for a second, we'll be right back with you, okay?
All right. Okay, back. Okay.
All right. Good morning. Please tell me your full name and date of birth.
Enrique Acosta Velasquez, 09/06/1998.
All right. Mr. Velasquez, it appears that you're still under holds. Yeah. Yes, sir. So it appears you're still under a hold. I'm going to reschedule a review hearing for you for July 28th at 9 a.m. So hopefully your holds will be off by then. We can move forward with anything, but we're going to hold that review hearing just in case you're still in custody at that time. Okay.
All right.
And that's all I have for you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
You got him? Okay. Good morning. Please tell me your full name and date of birth.
Gabriel Rivero, 7/25/1975.
There appears that you still have active holds, and the bond is going to remain in effect. I'm going to reset a review hearing for you for July 28th at 9 a.m. Hopefully you'll be transported or out of custody at that time, but we'll have the review hearing just in case you're still in custody. That's all I have for you, sir. Thank you.
I just got a question. They gave me 60 days. That's past the 60 days.
I'm not sure what you're talking about here, sir. So you're being held because of an out-of-county warrant. The bond is in effect, so it's up to the county to come and transport you. I'm scheduling a hearing for you just to ensure that we're keeping tabs on your case so that you're not slipping through the cracks. So all I'm doing today, sir, is resetting the clock to July 28th, and hopefully the hearing doesn't happen, but just in case, we'll have it scheduled in place so that we're keeping tabs on you, okay?
Yeah, but that's my question. That 60 days were given to me by the judge already, and on the 20th of July is my 60 days. So I know I have a warrant.
The next day is on the 20, what is it?
28th.
I know.
28th.
Thank
Just
you.
wait.
And we have the Spanish interpreter on?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. We have Mr. Martin back, please.
Your Honor, I'm not sure that the officers received the message, but I think we're just going to start they're starting to bring in some of the other misdemeanor matters.
Okay. Joe, if you can please have someone grab Mr. Martin so we can move on with his case as well. Thanks. Good morning. Can you please tell me your full name and date of birth?
April Denise McKissick, 22768.
Morning, Ms. McKissick. You're being seen here this morning based on a single charge of domestic violence assault alleged to have occurred late yesterday afternoon. You have the right to remain silent, and anything you say can be held against you. You also have the right to an attorney that may be appointed to you by the court. And I'm sorry, this charge is in the Marana City Court. So I believe we have the alleged victim on the line. Is that correct?
Yes.
Pierce?
Yes. Speaking.
Okay. Good morning, Ms. Pierce. The purpose of this hearing is to determine if Ms. McKissick is going to be released from custody, and if so, under what conditions. So as the alleged victim, you do have the right to be heard. So if you have any anything you'd like me to know before I make my determination about those matters, please feel free to share it with me at this time.
All right. Yeah, our conversation and our disagreement and what had gone down last night definitely got out of hand. I didn't want her to be arrested. I specified that to the officers when they had arrived. And they told me that it's out of my control. I can't really make that decision. I don't want her charged with anything. I don't know if that's I say in, but I don't want her to get in trouble for anything, and I would like her to be released if I get a say in that. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. May I ask, do you two share a residence?
Yes, we do.
And I see here from pretrial services that you don't have any problem with Ms. McKissick returning to the residence
No, not at all.
or having any further contact with her. Is that right?
One more time, sorry.
You're okay with having more contact with Ms. McKissick. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So based on that, I will release you, Ms. McKissick, to. And I'm sorry, ma'am. Is there anything else you want me to know?
No, not at all.
All right, Ms. McKissick, based on that and the other information I have from pretrial services, I will release you on promise that you'll appear at the Marana City Court on July 30th at 10 a.m. Can you do that?
Yes.
So I'll schedule that hearing for you. I'm going to release you. I'm going to order that you not possess or consume any alcohol or illegal drugs, and you not commit any acts of domestic violence. Based on Ms. Pierce's request, I'm not going to order no contact. However, I need you to understand that all interactions you have with Ms. Pierce have to be respectful, peaceful, and not violating obviously any law. And as far as Ms. Pierce, as far as your concerns about the charges, it's not up to me to decide whether or not to dismiss charges. If you wish to express your desires about the case, then you can do so to the Marana City Attorney's Office. And they're the ones who are responsible for issuing charges within the city of Marana. But otherwise, Ms. McKissick, you're going to be released later today. Please make sure and attend your hearing on the 30th. Otherwise, a warrant could issue for your arrest. Okay? Thank you very much. You're excused.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Yes. Good morning. Can you please tell me your full name and sorry. We already did that. Mr. Martin?
Sí, señor.
Yes, sir. And this is a Spanish interpreter case.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Again, to confirm, what's your full name and date of birth?
Señor, para confirmar, ¿cuál es su nombre completo y su fecha de nacimiento?
Alexis Enrique Martán, 7391.
Alexis Enrique Martán, 7391.
Thank you very much, sir. Your bond remains in effect. I'm going to reset your case for another review hearing on July 28th at 9 a.m.
This is for
Señor, su fianza
Su fianza permanece vigente. Voy a fijar otra audiencia de revisión para el 28 de julio a las 9 de la mañana.
Ok, ¿el caso de dónde es o qué?
Okay, this case, where did it originate or what?
This warrant from Yuma County Superior Court.
Este caso se originó de una orden de arresto de la Corte del Tribunal Superior de Yuma, el condado de Yuma.
So it's the responsibility of the Yuma court to transport you so that you can answer to whatever the charges are that led to the warrant. All I'm doing is setting a hearing for you. That way we're keeping tabs and you're not slipping through the cracks, okay?
Es posible que la Corte del Tribunal de Yuma puede que quiera que lo transporten a usted para allá para que usted pueda entonces enfrentar los cargos que tiene ahí. Simplemente lo que estamos haciendo el día de hoy es fijar otra audiencia para asegurarnos de seguir siguiendo su caso y que no se quede perdido.
Pero ya me habían hecho esto mismo, pues el mes pasado hicieron lo mismo, otro mes.
It's just that last month they did the same thing, so then we're just waiting another month.
Yes, sir.
Sí, señor.
Quiero saber nomás cuántos meses tengo que estar espere, porque ya van 3 meses. Pues.
Okay. All I'd like to know. Okay. All I'd like to know is how many months I'll be here waiting and waiting because it's been 3 times. I've been here since April.
I understand, sir. Unfortunately, I don't control the Yuma County Superior Court. It's on them to take the action necessary to resolve your case. All I can do is reset that hearing for you so that we can come back and see you again. And that's all I have for you, sir.
Señor, desafortunadamente yo no puedo controlar la manera que se desempeña el Tribunal Superior del Condado de Yuma. Ellos son los que tienen que tomar la acción para que usted vea su caso. Lo único que puedo hacer yo es fijar otra audiencia para seguir viendo.
Es incompetente el sistema, pero está bueno porque vamos a hacer. Gracias.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. This system is very incompetent, but that's okay. That's fine. I don't know what we can do. Thank you.
Good morning. Can you please tell me your full name and date of birth?
Good morning. Michael Milster, on July 17th, 1992.
Mr. Milster, good morning. You're being seen here today on 2 charges, one of domestic violence assault, another of domestic violence disorderly conduct. Remind you do have the right to remain silent, and anything you say can be held against you. Taking a look at the paperwork for you. The alleged victim in this case, do you reside with them?
Yes.
And fortunately, they couldn't be reached for comment. So do you have housing available with, I believe, is it your mother?
I'm sorry. I didn't understand that.
If you were released, could you have a place to stay?
Oh, yes. I mean, yeah, that's my my house.
Oh, I'm sorry. Away from where the victim resides.
Yes.
Then I will release you on this matter. I'm going to set an arraignment date for you for 2 weeks from Tuesday, the 7th of July at 10:30 in the morning. I'm going to release you, but I'm going to order that you not have any contact of any kind, either directly or through a third party, with the alleged victim, to include going to the place of work or residence. I will allow you to return to the victim's residence one time with the police escort to gather any personal belongings you have, but you're not to go there otherwise. So if you want to go back and gather any clothing, any personal effects, you can do that, but you need to contact law enforcement first, have them present with you at the home, and leave with them. You're not to go back to the residence otherwise. Do you understand?
Yes, sir. I also do want to note that this, where I live is my house, and she just moved in recently. I'm not sure if that changes anything or.
Not for now, sir. If the alleged victim chooses to find alternate housing, that's up to them. But for now, I'm in order for you not have any contact. Okay.
Okay, absolutely.
And that's it, sir. Please make sure and show up to your hearing on the 7th. Otherwise, a warrant could issue for your arrest. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
I'm sorry, Your Honor. What court is that?
That's in the Justice Court in front of Judge Robert Foreman on the 7th at 10:30 in the morning.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Sir, have a good day.
You have the other files? No, never. Okay. Sure. Yeah, okay. Good morning. Can you please tell me your full name and date of birth?
Buenos días, ¿me puede dar su nombre completo y su fecha de nacimiento?
Angélica Fernández nació el 12 de noviembre del 88.
Angélica Fernández, I was born on the 12th of November 19... ¿Qué 1900 qué?
12 de noviembre del 88.
December 12, 1988. November 12, 1988.
Ms. Fernandez, good morning. This is the time set for your arraignment. Does defense wish to waive reading of the charges or?
Yes, we'll waive reading.
Bueno,
Thank you.
buenos días, señor. Buenos días, señora Fernández. Hoy, esta mañana, es la audiencia fijada para su lectura de cargos. Le preguntan al abogado del defensor si está bien, si no tenemos que leer los cargos, y dice que está bien, no tiene que leerlos.
Right. Okay, ma'am. You're here on a couple of different matters. One is going to be a felony, and the other is a misdemeanor. Remind you, you do have the right to remain silent, and anything you say can be held against you. You also have the right to an attorney, and I'm appointing the Pima County Public Defender's Office to represent you.
Sí, buenos días, señora. Lo estamos viendo aquí el día de hoy por diferentes casos. Uno es una felonía y el otro es un delito menor. Le quiero recordar que tiene el derecho a guardar silencio. Todo lo que usted diga se puede usar en su contra. Tiene el derecho a un abogado y voy a nombrar a la oficina del defensor público para que la represente.
The attorney seated next to you is going to be assisting you through this hearing. So if you have any questions or concerns, please talk to them before saying anything out loud, okay?
El abogado que está sentado enseguida de usted es el abogado que la está representando el día de hoy para esta audiencia. Así que si tiene alguna pregunta o alguna preocupación, hable con él antes de decir algo en voz alta, ¿bien?
Ok.
Ok.
I've reviewed the pretrial services report. Note that Ms. Fernandez is 3 and 2 on the NCA-FDA scales.
Está leyendo el informe presentencial. Dice que la señora Fernández tiene un 3 de 2 en las escalas FDA.
And doesn't appear to have any felony criminal history.
Y no parece tener ningún antecedente penal por felonías.
I believe she also reports having been in Tucson only 3 days and is currently homeless and unemployed.
Y también informa que ha estado en Tucson apenas 3 días, está desempleada y también no tiene un lugar donde vivir.
All right. The state's recommendation was $1,000 bond plus pretrial services release.
La recomendación de la fiscalía es una fianza de $1,000 y si lo dejan salir, que esté bajo la supervisión de la agencia previa al juicio.
Anything further from the state?
De
No,
pronto la
thank you, Your
fiscalía
Honor.
algo más que agregar. No, su señoría, gracias.
Spence?
Thank you, Your Honor. Our request today is that Ms. Fernandez be released to pretrial services without a bond.
No tengo.
Gracias, su señoría. Lo que solicitamos el día de hoy es que dejen salir a la señora Fernández bajo la supervisión de la agencia previo al juicio sin tener que pagar ninguna fianza.
Your Honor pointed out Ms. Fernandez's lack of criminal history. Additionally, obviously, she has an inability to pay.
Su señoría, usted ya indicó que la señora Fernández no tiene ningún antecedente penal y tampoco no tiene cuenta con los medios para pagar nada.
And additionally, Your Honor, if Your Honor is inclined to hold Ms. Fernandez, then I would wish to make a challenge to the probable cause of the case.
Además, su señoría, si usted está considerando dejarla detenida a la señora Fernández, entonces quiero que me dé una oportunidad de cuestionar el motivo justificado.
Well, I am inclined to release Ms. Fernandez to pretrial services, but if you'd like to make a challenge otherwise, feel free to do so.
Y estoy considerando entonces dejarla salir bajo la supervisión de la agencia de servicios previos al juicio, pero si usted quiere decir algo o cuestionar algo, puede hacerlo.
If Your Honor is inclined toward release, then a probable cause argument is not necessary.
Si su señoría está considerando entonces dejarla salir libre bajo la agencia previa al juicio, entonces un argumento con respecto al motivo justificante no es necesario.
All right, Ms. Fernandez, I'm going to release you to the supervision of pretrial services.
Señora Fernández, la voy a dejar salir en libertad bajo la supervisión de la agencia previos al juicio.
And set a hearing for you on July 17th at 1:30 in the afternoon.
Voy a fijar una audiencia para usted para el 17 de julio a 1:30 de la tarde.
In order that you submit to any monitoring or treatment that pretrial services directs you to.
Le voy a ordenar que usted cumpla con el monitoreo y tratamiento el cual le ordene que lleve a cabo la agencia de previo al juicio.
And I'm going to order you not have any contact of any kind with the alleged victim, to include going to where they live or work.
Voy a ordenar que no tenga ningún tipo de contacto con la presunta víctima, el cual incluye no ir al lugar donde vive o donde trabaja.
And on your second matter, it relates to charges out of the South Tucson City Court.
Y en el segundo caso, que tiene con cargos de la Corte de la Ciudad del Sur de Tucson,
I'm likewise going to release you and set a hearing.
igualmente la voy a dejar salir.
Go ahead.
Igualmente la voy a dejar salir en libertad y voy a fijar una audiencia para el día.
And I'm going to set a hearing for you on July 15th at 10 a.m.
Y voy a fijar una audiencia para el 15 de julio a las 10 de la mañana.
In order that you not have any contact with the alleged victim, to include going to where they work or live.
También voy a ordenar que no tenga contacto con la presunta víctima, incluyendo a donde ellos viven o trabajan.
Ok. Le iba a hacer una pregunta.
Okay, I was going to ask you a question.
How about you speak with your attorney first, and if necessary, you can talk with me after that, okay?
Mejor hable primero con su abogado y si todavía es necesario, puede hablar conmigo después. ¿Está bien?
Ok.
Go ahead.
He's asking for you.
We're good, Your Honor.
Thank you. You're going to be released. Please make sure and contact pretrial services and your attorneys as soon as you're released, and keep in contact with them so you're up to date on the status of your case.
Muy bien, señora, la van a dejar salir en libertad. Cuando salga en libertad, por favor, póngase en contacto con la agencia previa al juicio y manténgase en contacto con sus abogados, siempre para que usted esté actualizada con la información con respecto a su caso.
That's all I have to
¿Me pueden dar un número donde contactarme para eso?
Are you going to provide me with a number so I can contact them?
I believe your attorney is handing you that information right now, and you're going to receive copies of the paperwork from this hearing.
Considero que su abogado le está entregando ahorita la información que usted está pidiendo y también va a recibir unas copias de los documentos con respecto a la audiencia del día de hoy.
Ok,
That's all I have for you, ma'am. Thank you very much. You're excused.
gracias.
Eso es todo, señora. Gracias. Se puede retirar.
Buenos días. Voy a que pase los cambios.
Building on upload, spiteful. There's a put out of method. I translated.
Necesito hablar con la gente.
See, Your Honor, my client is asking for someone who speaks Spanish besides the interpreter so that I may answer her questions. I think there may be a corrections officer here who knows Spanish. Speak Spanish, yeah. Would you be able to help assist? Maybe go on mute for a moment, Your Honor.
Go right ahead.
We're ready to proceed, Your Honor.
Thank you. Can you please tell me your full name and date of birth?
¿Me puede dar su nombre completo y su fecha de nacimiento, señora?
Ana Cecilia Jiménez Valenzuela, 28 de noviembre del 83.
Ana Cecilia Jiménez Valenzuela, 28th of November, 1983.
All right. Jimenez, this is the time set for your initial appearance. You're being seen here today on charges of possession of a narcotic drug, resisting arrest, and neglect.
Ok, señora Jiménez, la estamos viendo el día de hoy para su comparecencia inicial. En la audiencia del día de hoy la estamos viendo a razón de unos cargos por posesión de drogas narcóticas, resistiendo el arresto y negligencia.
You have the right to remain silent, and anything you say can be used against you.
Tiene el derecho a guardar silencio, todo lo que usted diga se puede usar en su contra.
You also have the right to an attorney, and I'm appointed at the Pima County Public Defender's Office to represent you.
También tiene derecho a un abogado, voy a nombrar a la oficina del defensor público para que lo defienda.
The attorney seated next to you is going to be assisting you throughout this hearing, so if you have any questions or concerns, please talk with him before saying anything out loud.
El abogado que está sentado enseguida de usted es el abogado que le está representando para la audiencia el día de hoy. Así que si tiene alguna pregunta o preocupación, hable con él primero antes de decir algo en voz alta.
Ok.
I've had a chance to review the interim complaint and have some issues with the probable cause as, the evidence supporting termination of probable cause. Before I make any decisions on that, I'm going to give the parties an opportunity to review the interim complaint as well and make any arguments to me, starting with the state. So, Miss, if the state wants to, again, take a minute, feel free to do so, but I'd like you to address the factual underpinnings for all three of the charges, or I guess in particular, the felony charge.
One moment,
Sure,
Your
Your
Honor,
Honor,
please.
if I could have a moment. Oh, sorry.
One moment, please. He tenido la oportunidad de leer la queja interina y tengo un tipo de problema con respecto al motivo justificante, especialmente con respecto a la prueba, con respecto al motivo justificante. Entonces, les voy a dar la oportunidad de que ustedes, si quieren, revisar esta queja interina y mencionar algún tipo de argumento que tengan con esto. Le voy a permitir primero que hable la fiscalía, así que si quiere tomar unos minutos para leer la queja interina lo puede hacer, pero lo que quiero que se concentren específicamente es con respecto a los cargos, los 3 cargos, especialmente los de la felonía.
And obviously, I will note that I believe Ms. Jimenez has an ICE hold.
Y también quiero indicar que parece ser que la señora Jiménez tiene una orden de detención por el Departamento de Inmigración y Control de Aduanas.
And stay whenever you're ready. Feel free to proceed.
Le dicen a la fiscalía que en cuanto estén listos puede proceder.
Yes, Your Honor. I believe the officers, it's noted that, they observed, drug paraphernalia as she was looking through her purse, which would be, having that in plain view. Shortly after that, she attempted to flee on foot, and as a result of that was taken into custody. Search incident to arrest in the vehicle. Yielded.
Un momento. Yielded the, you can finish and I'll go on.
Yielded the cocaine that was found in a bag in her in the vehicle, and those. Go ahead.
Thank you. Así, su señoría, la información que indicaron los agentes del orden público fue que observaron dentro de que en su bolsa había bienes parafernales o adminículos para el uso de drogas, y cuando ella estaba viendo dentro de la bolsa, y esto fue a simple vista. Después de eso, trató ella de huir, y de causa de que ella trató o intentó huir, fue que la detuvieron. Y además de esto, por el arresto en el carro, parece que encontraron la cocaína y una bolsa.
There was a small bag of cocaine, of course, that was found in her pants. I believe that the individual baggies are what gave rise to the fact that the officers felt they had probable cause for the possession for sale.
Entonces encontraron encontraron una pequeña bolsita también de cocaína en los pantalones de ella. Entonces también encontraron unas bolsitas individuales, y esto fue que dio raíz a que los oficiales o agentes del orden público la acusaron entonces con posesión destinada para venta.
In addition to the amount, which was 29.91 grams.
Adicionalmente, con respecto a la cantidad, que era 29.91 gramos.
Thank you. Defense?
Yes, Your Honor. We agree with the court's inclination that there is not probable cause to support the charges regarding the for sale aspect. And I'll pause here.
Thank you. Sí, su señoría. Ahora le pregunto a la defensa qué tiene que decir. Sí, su señoría, nosotros estamos de acuerdo con usted con respecto a que no existe motivo justificante para estos cargos. Con respecto, primeramente, a lo que estaba destinado para venta.
Your Honor, if we assume without admitting that Ms. Jimenez Valenzuela had the possession of the items in question.
Su señoría, si asumimos que sin admitir nada, que la señora Jiménez tenía en su posesión los artículos a los cuales se están refiriendo.
Nothing about the possession, the nature of the possession, would give rise to more than mere personal possession.
Dice que nada con respecto a esta posesión o naturaleza de esta posesión surge a que simplemente el hecho de tener una posesión.
In addition, the remaining allegations do not rise to the level of either resisting arrest or neglect of a minor.
Y además, adicionalmente, los cargos subsiguientes que se alegan no llegan o no dan lugar a decir que está resistiendo un arresto o que se está comportando de una manera negligente con un menor.
Well, thank you both. Based on my review, I don't think that the officers included sufficient information that they confirmed the substances were in fact what they alleged them to be.
Gracias a los dos, el juez indica, después de haber revisado esta información, yo concluyo que los agentes no tenían suficiente información para decir que las sustancias eran lo que alegan que eran.
And there is absolutely no information related to there being a minor present at this incident.
Y tampoco no existe ninguna información que se encontraba presente un menor durante este incidente.
I do believe will be otherwise probable cause, assuming there is additional information that resisting arrest. There was probable cause to believe resisting arrest occurred.
I'm sorry, Your Honor, can you please repeat that for the interpreter?
Yes. I do find there to be probable cause as to the second misdemeanor allegation.
Sí determino que sí existe motivo justificante con respecto a la segunda alegación de delito menor,
But no probable cause as to the other two allegations.
pero no existe motivo justificante con respecto a las otras dos alegaciones.
Pursuant to Rule 4.2, I believe the remedy would be released on recognizance. However, given Ms. Jimenez's current status, I will allow the state and defense to argue for conditions of release, make a supplemental argument for conditions of release.
Dice entonces, siguiendo las leyes, entonces considero que la podemos dejar de alta, también salir, perdón, dejar salir en libertad. Sin embargo, dada la situación con el estatus en que se encuentra la señora Jiménez, entonces pienso que la fiscalía y el abogado defensor pueden presentar sus argumentos con respecto a lo que ellos consideran que deben de ser sus condiciones de libertad.
State, any additional argument?
Well, Your Honor, oh wait.
Go right ahead.
Yes, Your Honor. So there is not a search of the local, state, and national criminal justice records did not reveal any felony arrest history. Therefore, I do not believe that we have sufficient argument as to holding her on just the resisting arrest charge. The recommendation would be as to the single charge, a release to pretrial services.
One moment, please. Sí, su señoría. Nosotros hicimos una investigación en las áreas centrolocales, estatales y nacionales y no encontramos ninguna orden de arresto por ninguna felonía con respecto a la señora Jiménez y tampoco tenemos suficiente información, entonces, para dejarla detenida. Entonces, simplemente con el otro cargo, recomendamos entonces que la dejen salir en ese solo cargo bajo los servicios previos al juicio.
And defense?
Your Honor, may I have a moment to consult with my client?
You may.
Le preguntan a su abogado defensor qué opina y su abogado defensor dijo un momento para hablar con mi cliente.
Your Honor, after speaking with my client and her having been advised of the consequences either way of Your Honor's decision, my client would like to agree with the state's recommendation of pretrial services.
Su señoría, después de hablar con mi cliente y después de informarle de las consecuencias de cualquiera de las decisiones de su señoría, mi cliente acordó entonces con la recomendación de la fiscalía de que la dejen en libertad bajo la agencia previo al juicio.
Thank you both very much. I'm going to impose a bond of $500 cash secured and order that if Ms. Jimenez is released to pretrial services, that she submit to their monitoring or treatment as directed.
Muchas gracias a los dos, indica el juez. Voy a entonces poner una fianza, fijar una fianza de $500 para la señora Jiménez y voy a ordenar que la dejen salir bajo la supervisión de la agencia previa al juicio y de que tiene que cumplir con cualquier requisito de monitoreo o tratamiento que ordenen ellos.
And I'll set a hearing for July 7th at 1:30 in the afternoon.
Y voy a fijar una audiencia para el 7 de julio a la 1:30 de la tarde.
Thank you both very much. You're excused.
Muchas gracias a los dos. Ya se pueden retirar.
¿Dónde sería la audiencia?
Where's the here? Where's the?
Gracias.
Oh, okay. Okay. Your Honor, may the Spanish interpreter be excused as well?
Sure, we don't have any other Spanish language defendants. Is that right, Jail?
That's correct, Your Honor.
Thank you very much. The interpreter is excused.
Thank you, Your Honor. Interpreter is disconnecting.
Okay.
Good morning. Can you please tell me your full name and date of birth?
Bobby Joe Watterson, 10-11-82.
I'm Sir Watson. This is time set for your initial appearance. You're being seen here today on charges of unlawful possession of a dangerous drug and unlawful possession of drug paraphernalia. Remind you do have the right to remain silent, and anything you say can be held against you. You also have the right to an attorney, and I'm appointed the Pima County Public Defender's Office to represent you. The attorney seated next to you is going to be assisting you in this hearing, so if you have any questions or concerns, please talk with your attorney first, okay? Our pretrial services noted that there is a probation hold in CR 2010-1303.
Yeah.
The defendant was rated as a 4 and 3 respectively on the NCAA FDA scales. And it does appear that he is steps diversion eligible. State's recommendation was for $500 bond plus pretrial services and a steps court evaluation. Anything else from the state?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
Defense?
Yes, Your Honor. May I have just one brief moment with my client?
Go ahead.
Okay, Your Honor, we are prepared. The defense is asking today for a nominal bond so that my client here is getting time credits while he awaits the pendency of the probation matter. He is interested in the STEPS program as well.
Let's just,
Thank you. Okay. Sir, I'm going to impose a bond $500 cash secured and order that if the bond is posted and you are released, that you submit to monitoring or treatment by pretrial services. I'm going to order that you not possess or consume any alcohol or illegal drugs. And defense waiving time on the preliminary hearing. Oh,
Yes, sir.
I apologize. You're in custody. My apologies. The STEPS hearing for evaluation will be on July 7th at 9 a.m. Your preliminary hearing, since you're in custody, will likewise be the same day at 1:30 p.m. So they have two back-to-back hearings on that day. All right, sir. Again, you're not going to be released because of your probation hold. However, if you do post that bond and are released, please make sure and contact pretrial services and your attorney and stay in contact with them so you're up to date on the next steps in your case. And that's all I have for you. Thank you. Good morning. Can you please tell me your full name and date of birth?
Luis Arturo Sandoval, 6/27/94.
Mr. Sandoval, you're being seen here today on two different matters. The first involved a felony charge of aggravated DUI, alleged to have occurred yesterday. And the other involved a warrant that was issued by the Oro Valley Town Magistrate Judge Hazel related to driving on a suspended license. I remind you, you have the right to remain silent, and anything you say can be held against you. You also have the right to an attorney, and I'm appointing the Pima County Legal Defender's Office to represent you. The attorney seated next to you is going to be assisting you in this hearing, so if you have any questions or concerns, please talk with him before you say anything out loud, okay?
Yes, Your Honor.
Pretrial Services indicated that there may be, and apart from the Oro Valley case, Mr. Sandoval is on has a misdemeanor case out of the Tucson City Court. He's rated a 6 out of 6 on the NCAFTA scales. Reported being a lifelong resident and employed as a journeyman. However, any references were unsuccessfully, they weren't successfully contacted. And criminal history, there appears to be 2 prior felony convictions dating from 2013 and a misdemeanor conviction for DUI. State's recommendation, this recommendation appears to be $50,000 bond plus pretrial services. Anything further from the state?
No, thank you, Your Honor.
Okay. Spence?
Yes, Your Honor. The defense is asking for release to pretrial services without a bond in light of Mr. Sandoval's lack of recent felony history and his full-time employment.
Thank you. On the felony matter, I'm going to impose a $2,500 cash secured bond and order pretrial services supervision of Mr. Sandoval if bond is posted. Also order that he not possess or consume any alcohol or illegal drugs, and he not drive without a valid license. We'll set the preliminary hearing for July 7th at 1:30 in the afternoon. And on the Oral Valley matter, I'm going to honor the bond as requested by Judge Hazel of $400 cash secured and set a review hearing for the 2nd, July 2nd at 10:30 in the morning. This will be a video review hearing, so you won't be transported if you're still in custody. I'm also going to appoint counsel, Mr. Richard Glenn, to represent you, sir. And that's all I have for you. Thank you very much, sir. You're excused.
I got some information. 10% of this you give me out?
Yes.
Yeah. Thanks.
You all right? Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Good morning. Can you please tell me your
Mark Angel Aguilar, date of birth is 04/28/2003.
Steiger, good morning. You're being seen here today on a felony complaint alleging charges of drive-by shooting, 3 counts of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, discharge of a firearm within city limits, and being a prohibited possessor in possession of firearm. You do have the right to remain silent, and anything you say can be held against you. You also have the right to an attorney, and I'm appointing the Pima County Legal Advocate's Office to represent you. The attorney seated next to you is going to be assisting you throughout this hearing, so if you have any questions or concerns, please speak with him before saying anything out loud. And I see, according to pretrial services, there appears to be a notation of felony probation. Mr. Aguilar is rated a 3 and 2 respectively on the NCAFTA scales. Residency and employment history were both verified by a reference, and there does appear to be 1 prior felony conviction, which I mentioned before. State is requesting no bond hearing. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Defense?
Your Honor, the defense disagrees that this is a no bond situation. Overall, the defense would, I guess, at a preliminary stage, argue that there is a lack of probable cause as to these charges. Specifically, there's not, we would say, reliable enough evidence that Mr. Aguilar was even in the car in question that was involved in the shooting. One of the things I'll point out is Mr. Aguilar is clearly here disabled. There's not an indication that the car at issue was even able to accommodate his disability to allow him to travel inside it. Even if we assume without admitting that Mr. Aguilar was in the car, there is documented to be 2 other individuals in that car who were more likely in possession of guns and more likely to have been the alleged shooters. And even if Mr. Aguilar were in the car, we believe a mere presence defense or situation could apply here. So, in other words, we don't really know that there is sufficient evidence that he had a weapon on him, or that he was even in the car, or had any criminal intent, even if he were with the people who were in the car. So, for all those reasons, Judge, we think there's a lack of probable cause. I was going to make a recommendation for release conditions in the alternative. Would you like, Your Honor, me to pause for a moment, though?
Go right ahead.
Okay. In the alternative, Your Honor, if Your Honor decides there is probable cause, we would ask that he be released to pretrial services, or if a bond is ordered, that the bond be nominal. He does have the verified resources that Your Honor mentioned from the report.
And I think the cited section for in support of the no bond is incorrect on the state's recommendation. I think it would be section A3, I believe. In any case, I do find there to be did find there to be a probable cause to support the allegations, and I will grant the state's request for a no bond hearing. I'll set that no bond hearing for July 2nd at 2:30 in the afternoon, and further set a preliminary hearing for July 7th at 1:30 in the afternoon.
Thank you for the correction, Your Honor.
No, that's all right. In any case, thank you. That's all I have for you. You're excused.
Aguilar, Mercedes.
Good morning. Can you please tell me your full name and date of birth?
Mercedes Selena Aguilar, and my date of birth is 05/08/91.
Mr. Aguilar, good morning. You're being seen here today on two different matters. The first that we'll deal with is, I just want to make sure I'm on the right case here. First involves a warrant that was issued, by Judge Catherine Monroe of the Pima County Superior Court. It involves a charge of taking the identity of another, possession of a dangerous drug, possession of a narcotic drug, and possession of drug paraphernalia alleged to have occurred on December 30th, 2023. The second matter involves a felony criminal complaint of possession of a stolen firearm, possession of a dangerous drug, possession of drug paraphernalia, possession of stolen property. Remind you do have the right to remain silent, and anything you say can be held against you. You also have the right to an attorney, and I'm appointed to the Pima County Public Defender's Office to represent you in both matters. The attorney seated next to you is going to be assisting you during this hearing, so if you have any questions or concerns, please speak with your attorney before saying anything out loud, okay? All right, we'll deal with the warrant first. I don't see any holds for Ms. Aguilar. She was rated a 1 and 1 respectively on the NCAA scales. And on the warrant matter, it appears that the warrant was issued on April 29th. The defendant was not previously arrested, has not previously been arrested on this matter. And residency and employment weren't able to be verified. There also appeared to be no felony criminal history. State's recommendation on the warrant was $1,500. I guess the amount of the warrant plus pretrial services. Anything else from the state? On the warrant, I should say.
No, Your Honor, thank you.
Defense?
Thank you, Your Honor. Did you want me to address the warrant matter or both matters?
You can address both if you'd like. I asked the state only to address the first one, but you're welcome to address both if you feel it's advantageous.
Yes, Your Honor, I will. Starting with the warrant matter, the 2025 indicted matter, what I'll note is that the allegations appear to be from the end of 2023, that the case was not charged until it appears April of 2025, so almost an 18-month difference. And in the meantime, it doesn't appear that there was accurate address information on file for Ms. Aguilar, and I think that is the reason for her non-appearance, that she just simply didn't have actual notice of the hearing. It wasn't a willful or knowing non-appearance. So in light of that, in light of her low NCA FDA scores, in light of her lack of felony history, we'd ask that she be released pretrial services on the warrant matter. And similarly, as to the new allegations from, looks like, well, 627, we would ask as well that that at the most that she be released to pretrial services. Your Honor, I noted some probable cause issues with this case as well, in the sense that there is some evidence that Ms. Aguilar was in a car where there were multiple problematic items found. However, it is a few things are unclear here. It's unclear whether there may have been any other people in the car. The location of the items is unclear as far as whether anything was on her person versus elsewhere in the car that she didn't know about. We don't know whose car this is. And in addition, there's not really information that she would have had knowledge about any firearms being in the car being stolen. Finally, it is unclear whether the drugs, from what I'm seeing here, were tested and verified to any degree to be what they are said to be. So we see some probable cause issues with the newer allegations, Your Honor, and ask that at most in both matters that she be released to pretrial services.
And I did find probable cause. I do believe that there is a notation on the very bottom of a test of testing of the substances. State, I only asked you for any additional argument on the warrant. However, since was given the opportunity to address both matters at the same time, is there anything else you would like me to know about your recommendation on the new complaint? I believe you're recommending $5,000 plus pretrial services.
That is correct, Your Honor. And outside of, since there is no more probable cause argument to be made, that would be the state's recommendation.
Thank you. I will, on both matters, release Ms. Aguilar pretrial services. I'm going to schedule the no bond here, or I'm sorry, not no bond, the arraignment hearing for Ms. Aguilar for July 7th at 1:30 in the afternoon at the Pima County Superior Court in downtown Tucson. In order that she submit to any monitoring or treatment as directed by pretrial services, and she possess no alcohol or illegal drugs, and that she have no contact of any kind with the alleged victim. And the preliminary hearing for the new complaint will be July 17th at 1:30. Again, same conditions are going to apply, with the addition that Ms. Aguilar be ordered not to possess any firearms or weapons and to surrender any firearms she may have to law enforcement within 48 hours of release. Ms. Aguilar, you got a couple matters going on. You need to reach out to pretrial services as soon as you're released and maintain contact with them as well as your attorneys. And above all else, do not miss any hearings in this case. Otherwise, a warrant could issue for your arrest. You understand?
Yes, I understand.
Thank you very much. You're excused.
Thank you.
Good morning. Can you please tell me your full name and date of birth?
Jesse Thomas Apodaca Jr., 11380.
Mr. Apodaca, this is time set for your initial appearance. You're being seen here today on a single charge of theft of a means of transportation. You will have a right to remain silent, and anything you say can be held against you. You also have the right to an attorney, and I'm appointing the Pima County Public Defender's Office to represent you. The attorney seated next to you is going to be assisting you in this hearing, so if you have any questions or concerns, please talk with him before saying anything out loud. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Taking a look at pretrial services, no holds or other statuses noted for Mr. Apodaca. It's rated a 5 and 5 respectively on the NCAA scales. Attempts to verify residence and employment were not successful, and there appears to be 6 prior felony convictions dating back to 1998, the most recent being 2019. State's recommendation was $10,000 bond plus pretrial services. Anything else from the state?
No more to add, Your Honor. Thank you.
In defense?
Yes, Your Honor. We'd ask Your Honor to consider release to pretrial services without a bond. What I'd point out that Your Honor has already pointed out in part, the lack of a recent or a local felony history for Mr. Apodaca. He is reporting full-time employment. Unfortunately, I think with him being in custody, it's going to be difficult to be able to confirm that. But he does have full-time employment. The level of a probable cause challenge, but looking over the interim complaint, there do appear to be some signs that Mr. Apodaca had the vehicle in question by consent, or at least was working towards lawful possession of it. Something that will need to be sorted out, but there are some questions here factually, Judge. So given all those things, we're asking that he be released to pretrial services. In the alternative, if the bond must be ordered, we're asking that it be significantly lower.
Thank you. I will release Mr. Apodaca to pretrial services and set a preliminary hearing for July 17th at 1:30 in the afternoon. Mr. Apodaca, I'm going to release you to pretrial services, but I'm going to order that you be submit to any monitoring or treatment that they direct, and I'm also going to order that you not have any contact of any kind with the alleged victim, to include going to the place of work or residence, and that you not possess or consume any alcohol or illegal drugs, firearms, or weapons. All right, sir. Thank you very much. You're excused.
Thank you. Yes, sir. Sir. And information. Yes, sir.
Good morning. Can you please tell me your full name and date of birth?
Jose Albert Ayala, September 28, 2002.
Thank you, Mr. Ayala. You're being seen here today on charges of possession of a narcotic drug, possession of narcotic drugs for sale, and being a prohibited possessor in possession of a firearm. You have the right to remain silent, and anything you say can be held against you. You also have the right to an attorney, and I'm appointing the Pima County Public Defender's Office to represent you. The attorney seated to your left is going to be assisting you in this hearing, so if you have any questions or concerns, please speak with your attorney before saying anything out loud. You understand? Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. I took a look at pretrial services report, noted that Mr. Ayala may be on felony probation. He was rated a 5 and a 2 on the NCFTA scales and has a single felony conviction dating back to 2021. State's recommendation was for $20,000 bond plus pretrial services. Anything else from the state?
Nothing that Your Honor hasn't already noted.
Thank you. Defense?
Thank you, Your Honor. We ask Your Honor to consider release to pretrial services in this matter in light of Mr. Ayala's the nonviolent allegations that he's facing here, full-time job he has, the housing and transportation that were confirmed, as well the relatively low FTAs. And Your Honor, I think he has a quick question for me, if I may just answer that real quick.
Go right ahead.
Oh, no. Yes, sir.
The information I have is that Mr. Ayala is also expecting a child in a couple of days.
Thank you. Thank you. In jail, can you confirm there's no probation hold at this time? Is that correct?
Correct, Your Honor.
Thank you. All right. I'm going to impose a bond of $2,500 cash and order that if bond is posted that Mr. Ayala be released to pretrial services supervision. In order that he not possess or consume any alcohol or illegal drugs, and that he not possess any firearms or weapons, and that any firearms he may have be surrendered to pretrial services or to law enforcement within 48 hours. I'll set the preliminary hearing for July 7th at 1:30. All right, thank you very much, sir. That's all I have for you. You're excused.
Your Honor, quick clarifying question. You indicated a bond of $2,500. What is that, cash or cash secured?
Cash or secured. I'm sorry, can you just confirm that? Cash secured.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Good morning. Can you please tell me your full name and date of birth?
My name is Nancy Yasmin Fajardo Alcaraz, 92191.
All right, thank you, ma'am. Being seen here today on a single charge of aggravated DUI, that should have occurred yesterday. Remind
Yes,
you do have the right to remain silent, and anything you say can be used against you. You also have the right to an attorney, and I'm appointing the Pima County Legal Defender's Office to represent you. The attorney seated next to you is going to be representing you for purposes of this hearing. So if you have any questions or concerns, please address them to your attorney before saying anything out loud. Pretrial services noted that Ms. Fayora Alcaraz is on release to pretrial services in separate felony case, CR 2021-3156. She's rated a 5 and a 5 respectively on the NCAA FDA scales. And there do appear to be two prior felony convictions. One is pending sentencing on the 30th. And then there was a separate misdemeanor conviction. The state's recommendation is $50,000 bond plus pretrial services. Anything else from the state?
Your Honor, the state would also like to note that that sentencing that's coming up is for an aggravated DUI as well. It's also DUI related.
Yes.
And the state feels that because of this, she is a risk to the community.
Thank you. Vince?
Yes, Your Honor. We'd ask Your Honor to consider either pretrial services enhanced release or a significantly lower bond in light of Ms. Fajardo Alcaraz's full-time employment for housing and for transportation. I don't have access exactly to the file of the other matter that's pending, but it does appear that that's likely to be a probation available disposition in light of her being out of custody. So we would just ask Your Honor to consider that.
Thank you. I'm going to pose a $10,000 cash bond and order pretrial services supervision if bond is posted. I'm going to order no alcohol or legal drugs be possessed or consumed, and that Ms. Fajardo Alcaraz not drive without a valid license. I'm going to set the preliminary hearing for July 7th at 1:30 in the afternoon. Thank you very much. You're excused.
Again, Your Honor, did you mean cash or cash or secured?
Yeah.
Cash. Okay. Thank you, Your Honor.
Francis. Good morning. Can you please tell me your full name and date of birth?
Laura and Francis 7870.
Thank you, Ms. Francis. You're being seen here today on a felony criminal complaint of robbery alleged to have occurred yesterday. Remind you do have the right to remain silent, and anything you say can be held against you. You also have the right to an attorney, and I'm appointing the Pima County Public Defender's Office to represent you. The attorney seated next to you is going to be representing you for purposes of this hearing. So if you have any questions or concerns, please address them to your attorney before saying anything out loud. And I'm sorry, you're also here on warrants for one, two, three, four, five, six, seven, approximately 9 misdemeanor cases out of the Tucson City Court. We'll deal with the felony matter first. No, Miss Francis doesn't have any holds or other statuses other than these city court cases I mentioned before. She is rated a 6 and a 6 on the NCAA FDA scales. Employment and residency couldn't be confirmed by emergency contacts. There's 2 prior felony convictions dating back 2014. State's recommendation was for $5,000 bond plus pretrial services. State have anything else? Wish to report on these?
Nothing that was already noted by the court.
Thank you. Defense?
Thank you, Your Honor. We would ask, Your Honor, in setting release conditions to consider Ms. Francis's inability to pay, as well as her lack of recent felony history and the lack of any violent history. We do anticipate that Your Honor may hold her on the misdemeanor matters. And so between those, any bonds imposed there, she's not going to be able to post anything really here. So we ask that any bond here imposed be nominal.
And I will impose a bond of $2,500 cash or secured and order pretrial services supervision. I'm going to order that Ms. Francis not possess or consume any alcohol or illegal drugs, not possess any firearms or weapons, and have absolutely no contact of any kind with the alleged victims, to include going to the incident location. I'm going to set the preliminary hearing date for July 7th at 1:30 in the afternoon. And on the misdemeanor matters, I'm going to confirm the amount of the bonds.
That's great.
Wait, easier way of doing this. The bonds in those underlying cases are $1,000 a piece. So I'm going to impose the $1,000 cash secured. I'm going to appoint Mr. Jeff Grinikwitz to represent you on this case, Ms. Francis. Be in the paperwork you'll receive from us. And I'm going to set a video review hearing for you on July 1st at 1:45 in the afternoon. And note the felony hold. All right, ma'am. So you're not going to be released, but you will be seen on this matter. You'll be seen by Judge Maldonado on July 1st, and then you'll have your next hearing on July 7th. And that's all I have, ma'am. Thank you very much. You're excused.
Have a seat.
I didn't have counsel's. Can you please put that in?
We're ready, Your Honor.
Thank you. Good morning. Can you please tell me your full name and date of birth?
Travis Columbus.
And your date of birth?
7782.
Thank you. Mr. Johnson, you're being seen here today based on 2 felony charges, one of aggravated robbery, the other of aggravated assault, allegedly committed on June 22nd of this year. Reminding you do have the right to remain silent, and anything you say can be held against you. You also have the right to an attorney, and I'm appointing the Pima County Public Defender's Office to represent you. I believe you're already speaking with the gentleman to your left, but that is going to be your attorney for purpose of this hearing. So if you do need to ask any questions, please speak with him before saying anything out loud. Let's see. Federal Services noted there may be a warrant outstanding, though I don't have any record of that in front of me. Mr. Johnson was rated a 6 and a 4 on the NCFTA scales. But couldn't, and we couldn't verify living or employment. And there appears to be 1, 2, 6 prior felony convictions dating back to 1999, with most recently in 2019. State's recommendation was $5,000 pretrial services. Anything else from the state?
Nothing that wasn't already noted by the court, Your Honor.
Thank you very much. And depends if you need a minute, please feel free.
Yes, Your Honor. So as an initial matter, we're arguing for a lack of probable cause in this case. If you look at the interim complaint, there are some indications that there was some kind of entry into the victim's home, some kind of altercation that was there. But we don't believe that the allegations as stated rise to the level of Mr. Johnson having any specific involvement in that, such that he should be held criminally liable for that. It is certainly possible on the allegations in the complaint that there may have been 1 or 2 other individuals who engaged in criminal activity. But again, Mr. Johnson, even if he was present, was only potentially merely present, and there's not enough indication that he intended any crime to occur. So we would argue that there's not probable cause here on these facts. If Your Honor does find probable cause, we would ask that Mr. Johnson be released to pretrial services. He does have full-time employment. Being in custody, it's difficult for him to be able to verify that the same way that he would out of custody. He does say that he has housing that was verified the last time that he was in custody, Flowing Wells. In addition, he does have a lack of local history. So in light of all those things, Your Honor, we're asking for basically a finding of no probable cause, but ultimately no more than release to pretrial services.
Thank you. And I did find probable cause based on the facts, including the partial identification by the victim, the alleged victim, I should say. I am going to impose a bond of $10,000 cash or secured and order pretrial services supervision should Mr. Johnson post the bond. I'm going to order Mr. Johnson that you surrender any firearms that you have and possess no firearms during the pendency of this case. I'm also going to order that you not possess or consume any alcohol or illegal drugs. I'm going to also order that you have absolutely no contact of any kind with the alleged victim, to include going to where they work or live. I'll set the preliminary hearing for July 7th at 1:30. And that's all I have for you, sir. Thank you. You're excused. Did I not vote?
The first page is okay, but you just wanted $1,000 total, right? So is it okay if I write that out and see page 1?
Go right ahead. Good morning. Can you please tell me your full name and date of birth?
Angel Alicia Lencia, 8/9/1981.
Yes, Lencia, you're being seen here today on 2 different matters. We'll take in turn. The first involves a felony criminal complaint of theft of means of transportation and possession of a dangerous drug, alleged to have occurred yesterday. The other involves a warrant that was issued by Judge Erica Cornejo at the Pima County Justice Court involving charges of domestic violence assault, domestic violence sort of conduct, and failing to appear. I remind you, you do have the right to remain silent, and anything you say can be held against you. You also have the right to an attorney, and I'm appointed the Pima County Legal Defender's Office to represent you. The attorney seated next to you is going to be representing you in this hearing, so if you have any questions or concerns, please speak with him before saying anything out loud, okay? Pretrial services noted no other holds or statuses. A 5 and 6 on the NCFTA scales, respectively. Employment and residency was confirmed by reference, and doesn't appear to be any felony or misdemeanor history for Ms. Lancia. County Attorney's Office is recommending pretrial services release. Anything else from the state?
Well, there was verification from that the defendant is currently homeless, Your Honor. But other than that, no.
Yeah, I'm sorry. When I mentioned that the residency and employment were verified, that I was just using that as a shorthand. But yes, there was somebody who verified those things. Anything else from the state?
No, Your Honor.
Defense? I am inclined to agree with pretrial service release. If you have anything else you'd like to say.
Yes, Your Honor, we would agree with pretrial services release, and we would emphasize her lack of felony history and her ability to get transportation to any future hearings.
All right, so Ms. Lancia, I'm going to release you to the supervision of pretrial services. I'm in order that you submit to any monitoring or treatment that they direct. So if they tell you to do something, you need to do it immediately. I'm in order that you not possess or consume any alcohol or illegal drugs, and that you have absolutely no contact of any kind with the alleged victim, to include going to where they work or live. I'm going to set your preliminary hearing date for July 17th at 1:30 in the afternoon. And on your misdemeanor matter, I'm going to set an arraignment for you on July 7th at 10:30 in the morning in front of Judge Robert Foreman at the Pima County Justice Court. So both your hearings are going to be at the Pima County Justice Court on the separate dates. Please make sure and contact pretrial services as soon as you're released, as well as your attorneys, and stay in contact with them. And above all else, don't miss any hearings. Otherwise, a warrant could issue for your arrest, and you can end up right back in custody, okay?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you very much. You're excused. Good morning. Can you please tell me your full name and date of birth?
Roman Alexi Marquez Ojeda, August 19, 2004.
Thank you, sir. You're being seen here today based on charges of burglary in the second degree, possession of dangerous drug, possession of drug paraphernalia, and possession of burglary tools. Remind you do have the right to remain silent, and anything you say can be held against you. You also have the right to an attorney, and I'm appointed the Pima County Public Defender's Office to represent you. The attorney seated next to you is going to be assisting you in this hearing, so if you have any questions or concerns, please talk with him before saying anything out loud, okay?
All right.
All right, pretrial services had noted no other holds or statuses, no other felony or misdemeanor history. Mr. Marquez, okay, that was a 5 and 5 on the NCAFTA scales. And he was verified homeless and unemployed by his mother. State's recommendation was for $20,000 bond plus pretrial services. Anything else from the state?
Your Honor, the allegations in this matter allege that the defendant was inside of someone's home and that an altercation began as a result of that. The defendant is not only a danger to the community, but a danger to himself in this situation. So we would ask for the $20,000 bond plus the referral to pretrial services.
Thank you. Defense?
Your Honor, we're asking for release to pretrial services without a bond. My client here does not have a history, including notably then a history of doing anything like these allegations. He is a lifelong Tucson resident. He does have verified transportation to court. So we'd ask that in light of especially his lack of history, that he get a chance at pretrial services release.
Thank you. I will order a bond of $7,500 cash or secured, and order that if bond is posted, Mr. Marquez Ojeda submit, excuse me, be under the supervision of pretrial services. I'm on an order that he surrender any firearms he may have and possess no firearms while this case is pending, that he possess and consume no alcohol or illegal drugs, and I'll set the preliminary hearing for July 7th at 1:30 in the afternoon. All right, sir. That's all I have for you. You're excused.
Yeah. You'll be getting it next week.
I was here.
Hello.
Good morning. Can you please tell me your full name and date of birth?
Anthony Kyron McClinton, September 20th, 1994.
Thank you, Mr. McClinton. You're being seen here today based on charges of domestic violence, aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, domestic violence, disorderly conduct with a weapon. Remind you do have the right to remain silent, and anything you say can be held against you. You also have the right to an attorney, and I'm appointed the Pima County Public Defender's Office to represent you. The attorney seated right next to you is going to be assisting you in this hearing, so if you have any questions or concerns, please talk with him before you say anything out loud, all right?
All right.
All right. Pretrial services noted no other holds or statuses for Mr. Clinton. He's rated a 2 and 2 on the NCAA scales. The alleged victim couldn't be reached for comment on the conditions of release.
I mean, she came.
Thank you. And according to jail, Mr. McClinton couldn't be interviewed for this matter and couldn't provide an emergency contact to verify employment or residence. And I do see a notice of a felony conviction in Georgia from 2015 and a notation of a active order of protection from the state of Georgia. State's recommendation was $50,000 bond plus pretrial services release. Anything else from the state?
Outside of the severity of the allegations, Your Honor, nothing that wasn't already noted by the court.
Thank you. And defense?
Thank you, Your Honor. We'd ask Your Honor to impose conditions no more severe than pretrial services release. I would like to make a probable cause challenge in the sense that here there are indications that this was a matter of self-defense. In addition, from the interim complaint, because the alleged victim was not located, there are some signs here that perhaps she was not stabbed at all, that there could have been some kind of cut involved, but that the only potential evidence that we see here that she was in fact stabbed, which is certainly a more severe injury, would appear to be the statements of my client. He could be mistaken about that. So because of the self-defense possibility, because of the possibility that the injury inflicted was not as severe as perhaps thought, we would ask for a lack of probable cause finding here. In the alternative, if Your Honor does find probable cause, we still would ask for release to pretrial services in light of a lack of recent or local felony history, his relatively low NCA and FTA scores, and overall, Your Honor, a lack of recent holding custody.
I will impose a bond of $50,000 cash or secured and order that Mr. McClinton be supervised by pretrial services if bond is posted. Likewise, he'll be ordered not to possess or consume any alcohol or illegal drugs, and that he not possess any firearms or weapons. I'm going to set the preliminary hearing for July 7th at 1:30 in the afternoon. Thank you very much, sir. You're excused. Good morning. Can you please tell me your full name and date of birth?
George Saltito Miranda Jr., 13183.
All right, thank you, Mr. Miranda. You're being seen here today on a few different matters we'll talk about in turn. The first involves a felony complaint alleging possession of a narcotic drug for sale, possession of a dangerous drug, possession of a firearm used during a drug offense, and being a prohibited possession of a firearm, as well as possession of drug paraphernalia. Second matter is a misdemeanor warrant that was issued by Judge Victoria Steele at the Pima County Justice Court involving an allegation of shoplifting and possession of drug paraphernalia from 2023. And the last is a city court matter involving a warrant for criminal trespass in the first degree from 2023. Remind you do have the right to remain silent, and anything you say can be held against you. On the felony matter, I'm going to appoint the Pima County Public Defender's Office to represent you. And let you know the attorney seated to your left is going to be assisting you in this hearing. So if you have any questions or concerns, please speak with him before saying anything out loud. All right. Pretrial services didn't note any other holds or statuses. Mr. Miranda was rated a 6 out of 6 on the NCA FTA scales. His residency and employment status were verified by a friend, a reference. And he appears to have 3 prior felony convictions dating back to 2002, with the most recent in 2013. State's recommendation on the felony matter is $25,000 bond plus pretrial services release, or supervision rather. Anything else from the state?
Nothing that wasn't already noted by the court, Your Honor.
And defense?
Thank you, Your Honor. We asked Your Honor to consider release to pretrial services without a bond in light of Mr. Miranda's inability to pay, his lack of recent felony history, the housing and transportation that were verified, and his lack of history of violent offenses. Not violent nature of the offenses here at issue. In the alternative, if Your Honor does impose bond, we ask that it be significantly lower in light of, again, especially his inability to pay.
Thank you. 1 second, I just need to check something on the pretrial services report. I am going to impose a bond of $10,000 cash and order that pretrial services supervise Mr. Miranda if he is able to post a bond. I'll order that he surrender any firearms he may have in his possession to law enforcement within 48 hours of release and not possess any firearms or weapons during the pendency of this case. I'll order he also not possess or consume any alcohol or illegal drugs. I'm going to set the preliminary hearing, for July 7th at 1:30 in the afternoon. On the misdemeanor matter, I'm going to set a an arraignment for July 7th at 9:30 in the morning in front of Judge Robert Form. Well, actually, given the felony, I'm going to also impose the bond here so that time credit can be considered if appropriate, and I'm going to set a pretrial conference instead of an arraignment on June 30th at 1 p.m. in front of Judge Renee Garza. So, Mr. Miranda, on this matter, just so we can be kind of in line, do remind you, you do have a right to remain silent, and anything you say can be held against you. You also have the right to an attorney, which may be appointed to you by the court, and I'm actually going to appoint a contract attorney to represent you. And that will be Mr. Adam Waters. His contact information will be in the paperwork you receive. You are presumed innocent, and I'm entering pleas of not guilty on your behalf to the charges. You also have the right to demand a trial in front of a judge, where you are, again, presumed innocent, and the burden of proving you guilty is on the state, and that burden is to prove you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. However, if you fail to attend any hearing, they may proceed in your absence, including a trial, where you may be convicted without the opportunity to defend yourself. Additionally, if you're unable to be sentenced within 90 days of your conviction because of your absence, then you may lose the right to appeal that conviction. And on the city court matter, I'm going to set a hearing for you on September 5th at 9 a.m. in front of Sarah Mayhew. I'm going to order that you not have any contact with the alleged victim, to include going to their work or residence or where this matter occurred. I'm also going to appoint the city public defender's office to represent you. All right, sir, that's all I have for you. Thank you. You're excused.
There's some information that's closest. Miranda. You're excused. Off at Michael.
Good morning. Can you please tell me your full name and date of birth?
Michael Delano Moffett, 2657.
Mr. Moffett, you're being seen here today based on a charge of aggravated harassment, which allegedly occurred on June 26th. Remind you, you have the right to remain silent, and anything you say can be held against you. You also have the right to an attorney, and I'm appointing the Pima County Public Defender's Office to represent you. The attorney seated next to you is going to be assisting you in this hearing, so if you have any questions or concerns, please talk to them before saying anything out loud, okay? All right, Mr. Moffitt was, don't believe any other statuses or holds. He's rated a 1 on a 1, respected on the NCFDA scales. There does appear to be an active order of protection where the alleged victim is the noted petitioner. The employment and residence couldn't be verified. Doesn't appear to be any other felony history in the past. And state's recommendation is $2,500 cash or $2,500 bond plus pretrial services. And there was a separate justification for bond provided by the Tucson Police Department. Does the state have anything else?
Your Honor, just to note that with the protective order in place, the defendant was on notice that the victims did not want contact in this particular incident, and he went above and beyond that. Outside of that, I have nothing more to offer.
Thank you. Defense.
Yes, Your Honor. We're asking for release to pretrial services in this case. I think it is very significant that my client here does have no felony history. I mean, looking at the allegations here, obviously there's a dispute of some kind happening here, but this is not something that somebody should be held in jail for. This is something that we'll have to go through the process in terms of what this is and what it isn't. But very good use of the community's resources for my client to be in jail for something like these allegations. And Your Honor, my client appears to have a question. May I take just a moment?
Go right ahead.
Nothing further, Your Honor.
Thank you. I am going to impose bond of $2,500 cash and order pretrial services supervision if Mr. Moffitt is able to post that bond. I'm going to order they do not possess or consume any alcohol or illegal drugs. I'm also going to order, Mr. Moffitt, that you not possess any firearms or weapons during the pendency of this case, and that you surrender any weapons you may have in your possession to law enforcement within 48 hours of being released. I'm going to, above and beyond the order of protection, I will order separately that you not have any contact of any kind with the alleged victims, to include going to where they work or live. I'm going to set your preliminary hearing for July 7th at 1:30 in the afternoon. That's all I have for you, sir. Thank you. You're excused. Good morning. Can you please Tell me your name and date of birth.
Michael Raymond Ramos, 122283.
All right, Mr. Ramos, you're being seen here today on a few different matters. We'll take them all in turn. The first is a felony criminal complaint alleging taking the identity of another allegedly occurred yesterday. The next is a warrant that was issued by the Marana City Court alleging shoplifting and failing to appear on July 25th, 2021 and July and February 2023. The next is a warrant that was issued let's see which county this came from. Oh, Oracle, I'm sorry. Yeah, the Justice Court in Pinal County on an allegation of disorderly conduct. And you're also being seen on a separate charge of shoplifting that allegedly occurred yesterday afternoon. To remind you, you do have the right to remain silent, and anything you say can be held against you. You also have the right to an attorney, and I'm appointing the Pima County Public Defender's Office to represent you. The attorney seated right next to you is going to be representing you for purposes of this hearing. So if you have any questions or concerns, please talk with your attorney before saying anything out loud. And pretrial services noted that there's a pending Superior Court case in CR 2023-0506 where Mr. Ramos is being detained without bond. 6 out of 6 on the NCAFTA scales. State's recommendation on the felony matter with $2,500 plus pretrial services. Anything else from the state?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
All right. And defense?
Yes, Your Honor. In light of the other detention that Mr. Ramos is facing, we're asked that he just receive a nominal bond.
All right, thank you. Okay. And on the felony, I will impose a bond for time credit purposes, $1,000 cash secured, and order that Mr. Ramos be supervised by pretrial services if released, and that he not contact the victim or go to their place of work or residence. I'll set the preliminary hearing on the felony matter for July 7th at 1:30 in the afternoon. On the Oracle matter, the warrant rather, I'm going to set a case management conference for July 7th at 10 a.m. and we'll notify them of the pending felony hold. On the Marana Court matter, likewise set a hearing for July 30th at 10 a.m. We'll notify them as well. And on the recent Justice Court matter, I'm going to appoint Ms. Caitlin Waters to represent you on that case and schedule a preliminary pretrial conference on Monday the 30th and impose a bond of $250 cash secured for the purpose of time credit if that's appropriate. And Mr. Ramos, on this charge, remind you again, you do have the right to remain silent, and anything you say can be held against you. You have the right to an attorney, and that's why I'm appointing Ms. Waters to represent you. You are presumed innocent, and I'm entering pleas of not guilty on your behalf. You have the right to attend all hearings, including a trial in this case, where you, again, are presumed innocent. The burden of proving otherwise is on the state, and that burden is to prove you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. However, if you don't show up for a hearing including the trial, they may go forward in your absence. And at a trial, you may be found guilty without the opportunity to defend yourself. Additionally, if you're unable to be sentenced within 90 days of being convicted because of your absence, you may lose the ability to appeal that conviction. And with that, I think that's all we've got. Thank you very much, sir. You're excused.
Okay.
Those things hurt my feet so bad.
Good morning, sir. Can you please tell me your full name and date of birth?
Carlos Osenso.
Date of birth?
9/26/87.
Thanks, sir. You're being seen here today on two different matters. The first involves a felony charge of escape in the third degree. The second involves a misdemeanor charge of interfering with domestic violence, interfering with a judicial proceeding, and disorderly conduct. This allegedly occurred yesterday evening. On the felony matter, or on both matters rather, you are presumed innocent and you do have the right to remain silent. On the felony matter, I'm going to appoint the Pima County Public Defender's Office to represent you. And let you know that the attorney seated next to you is going to be representing you for purposes of this hearing. So if you have any questions or concerns, please speak with him before saying anything out loud. Our pretrial services noted that Mr. Soto could be have a pending justice court case in addition to the city court case I mentioned, as well as felony and misdemeanor probation. He's rated a 6 and a 6 on respective on the NCA FTA scales.
Yes.
There does appear to be an active order of protection. And two prior felony convictions dating back to 2006. The rest brothers on the line to please mute themselves. Yeah, and on the city court matter. All right. So on the felony matter, state's recommendation was $3,000 bond plus pretrial services. Anything else to add from the state?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
Defense?
Your Honor, before I make a recommendation, is Your Honor inclined to hold him on the misdemeanor matters?
I haven't heard from the alleged victim in that case yet, so I haven't made any determination.
Yes, Your Honor. So what we just asked Your Honor to consider is an inability to pay here. And for example, the state's recommendation, we believe, would be too high and be too onerous. So we would just ask Your Honor to keep that in consideration, please.
I will impose a bond of $1,000, cash with secured, and order pretrial services supervision. And set the preliminary hearing for July 7th at 1:30 in the afternoon. Now, turning to the misdemeanor matter out of the Tucson City Court. I believe there was a alleged victim on the line.
Yes.
Montano?
Yes.
All right, ma'am. Good morning. The purpose of this hearing is to determine whether or not Mr. Soto should be released from custody, and if so, under what conditions. As the alleged victim, you have a right to be heard on those matters. So if you have anything you'd like me to know, this is not the time we're going to discuss guilt or innocence. That's for another day in another court. This is only as to, again, whether or not Mr. Soto should be released, and if so, under what conditions. So if you have anything you'd like me to know about that before I make my decision, please feel free to let me know now.
No, I don't think he should be released.
Okay. Do you have any other concerns or anything else you'd like me to know?
No, sir. Just that I don't think that he should be released.
All right, thank you very much. All right. Given the hold in the felony case, I'll likewise impose a bond in this matter of $500 cash secured. And I'm going to set the matter for a video review hearing, rather, in front of Judge. To be in front of Judge Cranshaw. And that'll be on July 1st at 1:45. As conditions of release of bond is posted, I'm going to order that Mr. Soto, you not possess any firearms and surrender any firearms you may have to law enforcement. In order that you not commit any acts of domestic violence, that you not possess or consume any alcohol or illegal drugs, and that you not have any contact of any kind with the alleged victims, to include going to their place of work or residence. And I'm going to appoint the Tucson City Public Defender's Office to represent you. All right, sir. That's all I have for you. Thank you very much. You're excused.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Good morning. Can you please tell me your full name and date of birth?
Enrique Camacho Cides, 7/15/79.
All right, Mr. Urquidez, being seen here today on a felony criminal complaint of possession of a dangerous drug. Remind you do have the right to remain silent, and anything you say can be held against you. You also have the right to an attorney, and I'm appointing the Pima County Legal Advocates Office to represent you. The attorney seated next to you is going to be assisting you in this hearing, so if you have any questions or concerns, please talk with him first, okay? Pretrial Services noted a release in a separate case, CR 25-007538. And noted Mr. Urquidez as a 5 and 5 respect on the NCAA FDA scales. Also know that he is steps eligible. Employment and residency were both confirmed by a reference. And there appears to be 7 other felony, I'm sorry, 6 other felony matters. The CR 2025-007538 is also reference a possession of a narcotic drug, possession of drug paraphernalia, as a preliminary hearing scheduled for July 23rd. All right. The state's recommendation was $2,500 bond plus pretrial services release. Anything else from the state?
No, Your Honor. Thank you.
Thank you. Defense?
Yes, Your Honor. We asked for a consideration of release to pretrial services without a bond in light of many of the things that Your Honor has pointed out. His steps eligibility, his full-time employment, his verified transportation and housing available.
I'm sorry, as part of the state's recommendation was a steps court evaluation. Is your client interested in being screened for steps?
Just one moment, Your Honor.
Go right ahead.
He is interested, Your Honor.
And in this case, I will order Mr. Urquidez released to pretrial service supervision and schedule a steps hearing for July 7th at 9 a.m. And is defense waiving time on the preliminary hearing in that matter?
Yes, Your Honor.
Then I'll set a preliminary hearing for August 11th. So, Mr. Urquidez, you're going to be released back to pretrial service supervision, and I'm going to order that you submit to any monitoring or treatment that they direct. So if they tell you to do something or report somewhere, you need to do that. Also,
Okay,
order
thank
that
you.
you not possess or consume any alcohol or illegal drugs. And those 2 hearings are set for you. You need to keep them front of mind. And after you're released, make contact with pretrial services and your attorneys. Make sure you're at those hearings. Otherwise, you may end up right back in custody. Okay?
Okay, thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you. You're excused. Good morning. Can you please tell me your full name and date of birth?
Sterling area in Washington.
And what's your birthday, sir?
4/11/98.
Thank you. Mr. Washington, you're being seen here today on charges of possession of a narcotic drug and possession of drug paraphernalia. You're also being seen on a city court matter involving shoplifting and possession of drug paraphernalia. So to remind you, you do have the right to remain silent, and anything you say can be held against you. You also have the right to an attorney, and I'm appointing the Pima County Legal Advocate's Office to represent you. The attorney seated right next to you is going to be assisting you in this hearing, so if you have any questions or concerns, please talk with him before saying anything out loud. Pretrial services didn't note any other statuses or holds. Mr. Washington was rated as a 6 and a 6 on the NCFDA scales. They also know that he was steps diversion eligible, and both employment status and residency was confirmed by a reference. Appears to be 3 prior felony matters dating back 2019, with most recently June of last year. State's recommendation was $500 bond plus pretrial services release and steps toward evaluation. Anything else from the state?
No, Your Honor.
And defense?
Yes, Your Honor. Before I give my recommendation, may I have just a minute to explain steps to my client?
Please feel free. You're welcome.
Your Honor, we are asking that my client be released to pretrial services without a bond, and he is interested in the steps program.
Thank you. I will order Mr. Washington released pretrial services. And is defense willing to waive time on the preliminary hearing?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Then, Mr. Washington, I'm going to release you to pretrial services supervision, and I'm going to order that you submit to any monitoring or treatment that they direct. So if they tell you need to do something or go somewhere, you need to do that immediately.
Yes, sir.
All right. I'm also going to order that you not possess or consume any alcohol or illegal drugs. And I'm going to set a hearing for you for steps evaluation, and I believe your attorney explained that to you. That'll be July 7th at 9 a.m. at the Pima County Superior Court in downtown Tucson. I also set a separate hearing on August 11th at 1:30 in the afternoon in case that steps hearing doesn't end successfully. On the city court matter, I'm going to set a hearing for you on July 25th at 9:30 in the morning in front of Judge Hale at the Tucson City Court, also it's downtown. And likewise, going to order you not to possess or consume any alcohol or illegal drugs, and not to go back to the incident location. All right, so you'll be released later today. Please make sure and contact pretrial services and your attorney as soon as possible. Stay in contact with them so you're up to date on next steps in your cases, okay?
Yes.
All right, thank you very much, sir. You're excused.
And Your Honor, may the state be excused?
You are.